Hey there, I'm Gary Grant. They also call me the Garage Guy. Welcome to my messy garage. This may come as a bit of a surprise, but I don't watch Formula One. Really, I could care less. A lot of people say, oh, that was because of the whole Senna thing. No, really, it was before Senna died. I think it was because of Senna. I don't like poor sportsmanship, and, anyway, don't even get me started on that one. But I decided, you know what? It's just the right thing. You got to stay up and watch the first race of the season. So I stayed up and watched Australia last night. I made it, I think, about 12 laps before I got bored and went to bed. Come on. You got 15 cars starting the grid. One guy had been running away with everything all weekend. Then when it came time to, drop the green, he took off and ran away from the rest of the field. I mean, at the end, there were 11 cars running. Well, let's forget that. The first lap, we got 15 cars on the track, and they can't stay out of each other's way. Come on, amateur hour. Anyway, end of the race, 11 cars out of 15 running, and this is supposed to be the peak of motorsports in the world. It's a joke. And third place, Vettel, was 34 and some odd seconds behind Lewis Hamilton at the end. Like, come on. It's an absolute joke. And the cars, you know what? They still sound like a droopy elephant fart. So, enough of that. People who've read my stuff over the years know that I'm not a big fan of electric cars. I think the whole concept is stupid. We've been trying to make electric cars since before we had petroleum-powered cars, and they just don't work. They're not the way forward. So, Formula E has held absolutely no interest for me. I haven't paid attention. I don't care. I don't want to know. So I was really surprised yesterday to find out that they have a pit stop in Formula E races, and they don't recharge or obviously refuel or replace a battery. They switch cars. Come on, they swap cars? And how are those two cars identical? Blah, blah, blah. Who knows? It's not even worth any of my time. For the record, Alain Prost's kid won yesterday's race in Miami. American Scott Speed came third. He couldn't cut it in F1. Clearly, he's not so shit hot in Formula E either. And some guy I've never heard of is in second. And then that brings me to the Top Gear debacle over the last week. Shall we call it Clarkson Gate? For those of you who've been following along, Jeremy Clarkson was upset that he wasn't going to have the kind of food he wanted in his belly at the end of a hard day shooting, so he decided to flip his lid on some junior producer guy. Some reports say he punched him in the face and there was blood all over the place. Some people say he smacked him, whatever. James May said, I don't know, I was blind drunk, and Clarkson's a knob, and Hammond has stayed quiet. He apparently is the only sane one in the bunch. The guy with the head injury is the smart one. Anyway, in his column in The Sun yesterday, Clarkson wrote this really weird thing about the extinction of the dinosaurs, and he's obviously comparing himself and Top Gear to dinosaurs, and it sounds like Top Gear's done, and who knows? Really, at this point, who cares? But apparently 800 and some odd thousand people do, because they signed a petition to get the BBC to reinstate him. I'm sure we'll see more of this next week. For Driven Wheels, I'm the Garage Guy, and we'll see you around.